Hey guys, literally no time has passed since I created the last tutorial, so I'm going to start to show you how to actually create a skin now. I'm going to show you how to publish to the workshop later in the tutorial series. For now, it's all about getting those textures down. To start off with, we want to double click to open our diffuse again. Wait for that to load. Here we are. Now that has a giant smiley face on it. I really don't care for the giant smiley face, so to get rid of this, seeing as it's now a single layer, we're going to go to our content folder, we're going to go to skinnable, and in here we'll see the beanie. Now this is a very important resource, as many skins have a different diffuse map, which is like a default texture, almost, that you can get from here, but isn't in the folder to start off with, and is not the default texture. So for instance, if we look at the hoodie, we can find in here the hoodie diffuse or collision map, which can be useful for obviously shading and whatnot if you wanted to overlay that. Or we can also use this, the hoodie high contrast, which is what high pass, sorry, which is what I suggest using. For instance, I can add a new layer to this with Control-Shift-N, press enter on that, and I can select the paint bucket tool, select a color, let's say red, and change the mode from normal, which is just fills the entire thing, to an overlay. And now I've got this reddish sort of texture. Now that's obviously very blinding, very annoying color, but we can easily change it up a little. And we've got something that could pass essentially for a red jumper in this workshop. This isn't a very good skin, it's literally just filling a form. We're not going to worry about that right now, all this, but what we are going to do is we're going to come back to Unity, we're going to go to our beanie, we're going to double click on the beanie high pass, this is our texture again, we're going to select all of that, we're going to go over here and we're going to press Ctrl V, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl A to select all of it, Ctrl V to paste it, and now we have this again. We can just delete the background, that doesn't matter anymore. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to create a basic camouflage. There are plenty of camouflages already. We probably don't need another one, but if you feel you can create a good looking one, by all means go ahead. I've seen some pretty good looking ones. Good luck. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the filter. This will probably be where you spend most of your time depending on what you create and how you do it. We want to render some clouds. We're going to do this again, Control-Shift-N again, to create a new layer, OK. We're going to do this again, so filter, render, clouds. We're going to do this again, one more time. Control-F repeats the last filter, and that'll do that. OK, now I want to show you a fairly simple way to create camouflage. What we want to do is we want to go filter, but instead of going to render clouds, we want to go to our filter gallery, and we want to go up to artistic and select cutout. Press Ctrl 0 again to zoom out all the way. In case you didn't know that, Ctrl 0 zooms to standard view. We want to lower the number of levels to 2. 2 is pretty good generally. You can adjust this as much as you want. I'm going to put it fairly high edge fidelity and low edge simplicity. The higher the edge simplicity, the more straight lines you'll get. And the higher the edge fidelity, the more it'll stick to intricate details sort of thing. But that doesn't matter too much this time. We're going to click OK. Now we're going to go to this other layer. We're going to press Ctrl F. As you see here, it will repeat that action on this layer, and we'll do it on this layer as well. Now that we've done that, we can go up here to the selection, we can click the magic wand tool, we'll put the tolerance up a little bit, and we'll select one color just so we can get rid of it. For contrast, I'll just put a white layer behind here. Go back to the selection tool. Now, this will be one of our layers of camouflage. We can color it later, but I see there's these in between some of these things. It didn't get picked up by the selection tool the first time, so I'm going to select them manually now, delete, done. Now we want to go and do this on our other layers. In this case, I'm going to pick the dark. Oop, got to select the right layer. I'm going to pick the dark, delete that. In this case, I don't mind it too much. That could add some character to this layer. Go to this layer, pick all this, delete it as well. I'm going to delete some of this as well. There we go. Okay, maybe we'll move that one up to the top. Now, as you can see here, there isn't too much difference at the moment. But if we fill this lower layer in black, with pressing G to switch back to the fill tool, we can click. Ta-da! Now, what I want to show you now is clipping masks. What we can do is Control-Shift-N again to create a new layer. Now, if we fill this in with, say, red again, that's just going to fill it up. But if we right-click and go to Clipping Mask, it will only fill whatever's in this layer with the red. There are a few ways to do this. You could also go here, go Edit, Fill, Preserve Transparency so all the holes in this layer don't get covered up, and go OK. That will also fill it with red, but I like this method because you can continue drawing on this layer. For instance, say I get a yellow pen or paintbrush, I can draw across here and it won't go anywhere else. As I said, there are a few ways to do that. This is just how I do it. We're going to do this for all of our layers. Create another clipping mask there. Create another clipping mask here. I'm being kind of stupid because there is a use previous layer to create clipping mask. But I'm lazy, you know. Okay. So, now what we can do is we can select all these, holding Control while clicking on every single one of them. Control G, and that'll group it. And that makes it slightly easier to manage because we can move our texture, which is the default beanie texture, to the top. Now this might not look so much at the moment, so let's pick some more colors for these. I'm going to pick a couple different ones, maybe a brown. Ooh. Maybe some green. Green sounds good. Maybe a nice tan color for this one. It's not really tan, is it? And then finally I'm going to pick a nice... How does that look? Nah, that doesn't blend very well, does it? So let's go back here. Create a slightly different color. There we go. That looks alright. Except it doesn't really. It looks pretty ugly. So we're going to actually change some of these colors around. Make sure the darkest is at the back, because they generally look better that way. Yeah. That looks a lot better than it did. If we're interested, we can click both of those and drag those above. That'll slightly change it up. Or we can bring it down below and have it less dominating. And bring these up. And they look pretty cool like that. Now, that's a beanie. We could Control-Shift-S, as we did in the first tutorial. Save as a TGA, diffuse.tga. Yes, we want to replace it. And then we go back to Unity. And here, look, we magically have a camo beanie. That would be the first step, but I like to accent some of it a bit better. So what we can do is we can go to our default beanie texture, and we can turn this into an overlay. So we still get the camo, but it looks more, you know, like the beanie texture. Want to save that, replace it again. Now you'll see it quickly change. It didn't do too much for the beanie, but some skins it really does make a fairly large difference. Something else you might notice is a lot of the Unity products are fairly low quality in terms of texture. This isn't a very big texture here, but that's just something Unity does. I haven't found a way around it yet. I'll definitely make a video or a post on the Steam group when I do find a solution to that, but for now, just don't worry about it too much, as long as you get a decent view. And congratulations, you've just made your first camouflage skin. Hey guys, I just wanted to remind you, now that you've seen how you can create your first camouflage skin, I have a Steam group. It's for content creators and content appreciators, anyone who really wants anything to do with the Steam workshop. At the moment, it's for any game with a Steam Workshop, and it's just called the Little Workshop. We'll switch over to it now. It looks pretty ugly. There's 4 people in it at the moment, but I'd like to turn it into a little hub where people can join, people can discuss, people can work on stuff together, and you can really show off your skins to a group of people who will appreciate them. I'll have a link in the description, and yeah, thanks.